Hey family, let's read The Color Purple. Yesterday, yesterday where we left off, Mr. Mr. is like love struck. Should and came into town, you know, pretty much used his heart and went back out on the town. He's not working. Mr. is not working. He is just sitting on the porch all day, staring off into space, totally love struck, and is like, yo, what in the world? And because he is not moving, because he is not working, Harpo has lost respect for him. Like, Harpo respected him, but he's like, yo, why are you not working? And he's not even really, he's like, why do I need to work when you're here? Not a good, viable answer for Harpo. So Harpo pretty much has lost respect for him. And so we find out that Harpo is tired of working all the time because he wants to go pursue a lady. He's in love. Okay. And so we're going to pick up at page 28. And it starts with Harpo being in love. I realized I swallow really loud. I noticed that yesterday. I'm like, anyway. Alrighty. Roll. All right. Dear God, Harpo girl daddy say Harpo not good enough for her. Harpo been courting the girl a while. He say he's in the parlor with her. The daddy sit right there in the corner until everybody feel terrible. Then he go sit in the porch in front, the open door where he can hear everything. 9 o'clock come, he bring Harpo his hat. Why I'm not good enough? Harpo asked Mister. Mister say, yeah, mammy. Harpo say, well, what's wrong with mammy? Mister say, somebody killed her. Harpo be troubled with nightmares. He see his mama running across the pasture trying to get home. Mister, okay, so remember, she calls all men Mister, so sometimes it can throw me off. So she's talking about the man. Okay, so she's essentially about to talk about the man who killed Harpo's mother. So as you know, Harpo's mother was killed by the boyfriend she was sleeping with, okay, behind Mister's back, behind Mister's back, like, big Mister's back. Okay. All right. Harpo be troubled with nightmares. He see his mama running across the pasture trying to get home. Mister, the man they say her boyfriend, catch up to her. She got Harpo by the hand. They both running and running. He grabbed hold of her shoulder and say, you can't quit me now. You mine. She say, no, I ain't. My place is with my children. He say, whore, you ain't got no place. He shoot her in the stomach. She fall down. The man run. Harpo grabbed her in his arms, put her head in his lap. He start to call, Mama, Mama. It wake me up. The other children too. They cry like they mama just died. Harpo come to, shaking. I light the lamp and stand over him, patting his back. It's not her fault somebody kill her, he said. It not. No, I say it not. Everybody say how good I is to Mr. Children. I be good to them, but I don't feel nothing for them. Patting Harpo back, not even like patting a dog. It more like patting another piece of wood. Not a living tree, but a table, a shiffer robe. Anyhow, they don't love me either, no matter how good I is. They don't mind, except for Harpo, they don't work. The girl's face always to the road. Bub, he be out all times of the night drinking with the boys twice his age. They daddy puff on his pipe. Harpo tell me all his love business now. His mind on Sofia Butler, day and night. She pretty, he tell me, right? Smart? Nah, bright skin. She's smart too, though, I think. Sometimes us get her away from her daddy. Sometimes us can get her away from her daddy. I know right then the next thing I hear, she be big. If she's so smart, how come she big? I asked. Harpo shrugged. She can't get out the house no other way, he said. Mister won't let us marry. Say I'm not good enough to come on in his parlor. But if she big, I got a right to be with her. Good enough. Or no. Well, where y'all gonna stay? They got a big place, he said. When us marry, I'll just be like one of the family. I say. Mister didn't like you before she big. He ain't gonna like you now 'cause she big. Harpo looked troubled. Talk to Mister, I say. He your daddy. Maybe he got some good advice. And maybe not, I think. Harpo bring her over to meet his daddy. Mister say he want to have a look at her. I see him coming way up off the road. They be just a marching hand in hand like going to war. She in front a little. They come up on the porch. I speak and move some chairs closer to the railing. She sit down and start to fan herself with a hand skirt. It sure is hot, she say. Mister don't say nothing. He just look her up and down. She about 7 or 8 months pregnant, about to bust wide out that dress. Harpo so black, he thinks she bright, but she ain't that bright. Clear medium brown skin, gleam on it like a good furniture. Hair naughty, but a lot of it, tied up on her head in a mass of plaits. She not quite as tall as Harpo, but much bigger and strong and ruddy looking, like her mama brought her up on pork. She say, how you, mister? He don't answer the question. He say, look like you done got yourself in trouble. Nah, sir, she say, ain't in no trouble. Big, though. She smoothed the wrinkles out over her stomach with the flats of her hand. Who the father? He asked. She looked surprised. Harpo, she said. Well, how he know that? He know, she say. Young women's no good these days, he say, got they legs open to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Harpo look at his daddy like he never seen him before, but he don't say nothing. Mister say, no need to think I'm gonna let my boy marry you just 'cause you in the family way. He young and limited. Pretty gal like you could pretty gal like you could put anything over on him. Harpo still don't say nothing. Sophia's face get a little bit more ruddy. The skin moved back on her forehead, her ears raised. But she laughed. She glanced at Harpo sitting there with his head down and his hands between his knees. She said, what I need to marry Harpo for? He's still living here with you. With food and clothes he get, you buy. He said, your daddy done throwed you out. Ready to live in the street, I guess. She said, no, I ain't living in the street. I'm living with my sister and her husband. They say I can live with them for the rest of my life. She stand up big, strong, healthy girl. And she said, well, nice visiting. I'm going home. Harpo get up to come too. She said, no, Harpo, you stay here. When you free, me and the baby be waiting. He sort of hang there between them a little. Then he sit down again. I look at her face real quick. Then it seemed like a shadow go across it. Then she says to me, Miss, I'd like to thank you for this glass of water before I go, if you don't mind. The bucket on the shelf right there on the porch, I get a clean, oh wait. I thank you for a glass of water. Okay, so she's asking her for a glass of water. I thought she gave it to her and was thanking her for it. Man, this language is different. Okay. The bucket shelf right there on the porch. I get a clean glass out of the sink and dip her up some water. She drink it down almost in one swallow. Then she run her hands over her belly again and she take off. Look like the army changed direction. and she heading up off to catch it. Harpo never get up from his chair. Him and his daddy sit there and sit there and sit there. They never talk. They never move. Finally, I have supper and I go to bed. I get up in the morning and feel like they still sitting there. But Harpo be in the outhouse and Mr. be shaving. Dear God, Harpo went and brought Sofia and the baby home. They got married in Sofia's sister house. Sister's husband stand up with Harpo. Other sister sneak away from home to stand up with Sofia. Another sister come to hold the baby. Say he cried right through the service. His mama stopped everything to nurse him. Finished saying I do with a big old nursing boy in her arms. Harpo fixed up the little creek house for him and his family. Mr. Daddy used it for a shelf. For a shed. But it's sound. Got windows now, a porch, back door, plus it cool and green down by the creek. He asked me to make some curtains, and I make some out of the flour sack. It not big, but it homey. Got a bed, a dresser, a looking glass, and some chairs. Cook stove for cooking and heating too. Harpo daddy give him wages for working now. He say Harpo wasn't working hard like he should. Maybe a little money goose his interest. Harpo told me, Miss Seeley, I'm going on strike. On what? I ain't going to work. And he don't. He come to the field, pull 2 ears, of corn, let the birds and the weevil eat about 200. Us don't make nothing much this year. But now Sofia coming. He always busy. He chop, he hammer, he plow, he sing, and he whistle. Sofia look half her size, but she's still a big, strong girl. Arms got muscle, legs too. She swing that baby about like it nothing. She got a little pot on her now and give you the feeling she all there. Solid. Like if she sit down on something, it might be mash. She told Harpo, hold the baby, while she come back in the house with me to get some thread. She making some sheets. She take the baby, give it a kiss, chuck it under the chin, grin, look up at the porch at his daddy. Mr. blow smoke. Look down at him and say, yeah, I see now she going to switch the traces on you. Dear God, Harpo wants to know what to do to make a Sofia mind. He sit out on the porch with Mister. He say, I tell her one thing, she do another. Never do what I say, always back talk. To tell the truth, he sound a little proud of this to me. Mister don't say nothing, just blow smoke. I tell her she can't be all the time going to visit her sister. Us married now. I tell her, your place is here with the children. She say, I'll take the children with me. I say, your place is with me. She say, you want to come? I know that's right, Sophia. What's good? I'm going to see my sister. What you thought? She keep primping in front of the glass, getting the children ready to take the same time. Getting the children ready at the same time. You ever hit her? Mr. asked. Harpo looked down at his hands. No, sir. He say low and embarrassed. Well, how you expect her to mind you? Wives is like children. That man is toxic. Wives is like children. You have to let them know who got the upper hand. Nothing can do that better than a good sound beating. He puffed on his pipe. Sofia think too much of herself anyway, he say. She need to be taken down a peg. I like Sofia, but she don't act like me at all. If she talking when Harpo and Mister come in the room, she keep right on. If they asked her where something at, she say, don't know, and keep talking. I know that's right, Sofia. Yes. I don't know. Anyways, I think about this when Harpo asked me what he ought to do with her to make her mine. I don't mention how happy he is now, how 3 years passed and he's still whistling and singing. I think about how every time I jump when Mister called me, She looked surprised and like she pitied me. Beat her, I said. Next time I see Harpo, his face is a mess of bruises. Should have known Sophia was gonna whoop your ass, Harpo. Come on now. Come on now. Okay, next time I see Harpo, his face a mess of bruises. His lip cut, one of his eyes shut like a fist. He walked stiff and say his teeth ache. I said, what happened to you, Harpo? He said, me and that mule. Yeah, she practiced, you know. She went crazy in the field the other day. Yeah. By the time I got to her to head home, I was all banged up. Then when I got home, I walked smack into the dab. I'm sorry. I walked smack dab into the crib door, hit my eye and scratched my chin. Then when that storm come up last night, I shut the window down on my hand. Well, I say after all that, I don't expect you had a chance to see if you can make Sophia mine. No, he said. But he kept trying. I'm going to read this next letter she wrote to God, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Yo. How about him mess around and get his ass beat? And he keep trying to beat Sophia, and she keep whooping his ass. Come on, bro, stop. Just stop and love her like you've been loving her. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. I love how he said, Celie said for 3 years, this man been whistling and singing and just happy. And then wanted to make her mind him because she do what she want to do. But mind you, he was happy. He was happy the way she was. He didn't have no problem with the way she was. And then he went to beat her, and now, oh my God, yo. Stop listening to other people when it comes to your relationships. I just need to put that out there. Whoever's watching, whoever will watch in the future, stop listening to other people when it comes to your relationships. If you happy, shut up. Just shut up and don't say nothing to nobody else. I mean, really. All right, dear God, just when I was about to call out that I was coming into the yard, I hear something crash. It came from inside the house, so I go run up on the porch. The 2 children be making mud pies on the edge of the creek. They don't even look up. I open the doors cautious, thinking about robbers and murderers, horse thieves and hates. But it Harpo and Sofia, they fighting like 2 men. Every piece of furniture they got is turned over. Every plate looked like it broke. The looking glass hang crooked, the curtains torn, the bed looked like the stuffing pulled out. They don't even notice. They fight. He tried to slap her. What he do that for? She reached down and grabbed a piece of stove wood and whacked him across the eyes. He punched her in the stomach. She doubled over groaning, but come back with both hands locked right under his privates. He rolled on the floor. He grabbed her dress tail and pulled. She stand there up to her slit. She never blink an eye. He jump up to put a hammer lock on her chin. She throw him over her back. He fall, bam, up against the stove. I don't know how long this been going on. I don't even want to suspect or even come to a conclusion. I ease on back out, wave to the children by the creek, and I just walk back on home. Saturday morning early, us hear the wagon. Harpo, Sofia, the 2 babies be going off for the weekend to visit Sophia's sister. Damn, they done messed up Harpo's happy home. Lord have mercy. Celie, why you tell that man to be, listen. Celie, why did you tell that man to beat Sofia? You didn't know she was going to whoop his ass like this. Lord Jesus. So yeah, Harpo's happy and in love. And Celie, because of her hurt and pain, went and gave him some crappy advice, and Mr., because of his misery and hurt and pain, gave him more crappy advice, and he went and took it and got his ass beat, as he rightfully should. That's the mother of your children at this point. You laying hands on her, trying to get her to mind you, because that's what you saw your father do with Celie. God, hurt people. You understand? And just like Mr. came the enemy, and I'm going to call Mr. the enemy, until he does right at the end, Mr. is the enemy. And just like Mr. came into Celi's life and came to rob, steal, kill, and destroy, he did the same thing to Harpo's happiness. Came and rob, kill, steal, and destroy. Man, that cat is mad loud with that little girl. Shut up. Dang. That's my baby though. She got to use the bathroom, but she ain't got to be so loud with it. Dang. So, yeah, the enemy came to rob, steal. I mean, as you can see, Mr. comes to rob, steal, kill, and destroy everything in his path. And he does it. I don't know how he gets away with it. Man, let me tell you, it won't me. That's what I'm saying. If it was me, I would have been whipped up on Mr. Ass. I would have been like, hey, Mr., come here. Come here. We got something. We got some shit to settle real quick. Real good. Like, we got to talk, because you're not, hey, nah, we're not doing that. So, Harpo, they get into a really bad fight, and then Sofia goes to stay with her sister for the weekend, but most likely she's probably gone for good, right? We'll find out tomorrow, right? I'm about to just chill, like have some alone time and relax, until I go to this Bible study at 7. So you all, I'll see you tonight for the Burning the Midnight Oil. I'm not sure what we'll talk about. The Lord will let me know, Peace, y'all.